Hey guys, I'm out of bed in about exactly 12 minutes now. So I planned this awesome interview with Zuzanna, but I was sleeping at 12 and I wake up at 4, stay awake super long, and then went back. So let's see if I can invite Zuzanna now. No. Let's see if she's really good on. Let's see. Haha. Okay, Zuzanna, I invited you. You should have a request now. Let's see if it works. Oh, well, that's cool. Okay, if you confirm, you're supposed to be in here. Okay, Zuzanna, it says you cannot join. Last time that happened to me was when somebody didn't update their app recently. So, yeah, it's my light. All right, want to see if there's an app update?
Yes, it works.
It works. Hey.
It does. Wait, I will adjust the camera because I'm sitting a bit strange. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's okay. I put you in the holder. Look, it made my background all fuzzy.
Yeah, it looks very good.
I don't know how I did that. I was also playing with these filters the other day, and
It looks very professional.
oh yeah, except that I didn't sleep, huh? How are you?
Yeah, good. Just as usual, got kids ready for school and did some food prep this morning and ready to talk with you.
Oh, super cool. Well, okay. Thanks for making the time anyway. So, everybody, my name is Wendy, as you might well know. I hope you all know Zuzanna too. She's my friend, and she joined the Dutch Food Festival in 2019, where we met. And I learned that she's a really awesome mom, raising 4 children. And I'm struggling with, to keep one happy and have his food ready for school on time and bringing it back. Okay, basically he hasn't been to school for 3 years, so it's sort of new for me. But I'm super curious how Zuzanna does it. And yeah, let's talk about raising kids and if they are willing to join mama's diet or absolutely not.
So maybe I can start with how I actually went plant-based, because it's been only last 6 years and my oldest is 10.
Yeah.
So my oldest actually was not born into the plant-based family. And actually the second one also not, only with number 3, I went plant-based. So, they were raised with a typical standard diet. So of course the beginning was quite challenging because everything was new to them. And of course, when you start to transition them, the standard diet tastes much more stimulating than the whole foods.
Mm-hmm.
So that of course took them a long time. And it was very frustrating for me oftentimes, because I'm also not living in the ideal world where my whole family would be eating the same way. So especially, during the visits to grandparents, in my home country, Slovakia, my husband being Dutch, different cultures, and everybody you know, just wants to feed you when you come for a visit.
Yeah.
And when you suddenly become, you know, different, it's very hard for people. And so for my kids, it was also very difficult, and especially also for my family, because when the kids went there for holidays, it was totally new, and my mother-in-law wouldn't be at the beginning willing to make the changes. Now she is, but 6 years ago it was different. She is a daughter of a dairy farmer, so imagine. You know,
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
discussions were pretty sharp at the beginning. So at the beginning, we had a lot of, well, also negative exchanges, but eventually I realized that there was no point to push it.
Yeah.
So I decided, I made a choice for myself that at my home, my kids are eating what I prepare, but when they're somewhere else, they must make eventually their choices. And of course, at the beginning, you know, they would go for salami and for cheese and all the candies. But luckily, my mother-in-law is not into candies that much, so she would always say, like, you can have one or two. She wouldn't give them like my Slovak family does, unlimited amounts, you know, because sweet is good for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if I give you sweets, it means I love you. That's how Slovak culture, you know, is.
I
And
think
so,
it's the same in Dutch, huh?
yes, especially the grandmas, right?
Like I'm living with my parents. They think they're doing a really great job, and they're not doing
Yeah.
bad, but it's still different, you know.
Yeah, but
I
they,
still
you know,
like,
they just think
why is he?
they see the child being happy when they give it, and they want a happy child. I think that's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah, so you know, so that was very challenging for me at the beginning, and it took me very long time to finally just give up and accept that I can control everything. I can only control what we do at home, but what happens outside, like when they are at school, when they are at parties, you know, like kinderfeestjes, stuff like that, that's just very difficult to have influence. So I eventually accepted that, but what I noticed, especially over the last year, so my oldest is now 10, the number 2 is 9, number 3 is 7, and number 4 is almost 5. And what I noticed, especially over the last year, is that I must be the best example for them, and then they follow. So for example, my oldest daughter now is 10, and here she's following on TikTok all these young girls who have very lean bodies and nice skin. And she's like, I want to look good. I want to be like them. And then she looks at me like, oh, you are 38 and you look so good. What do I need to do in order to be like that, you know? And then I'm like, yeah, you have to eat nutrient-dense food, and you have to be hydrated, you have to move your body. And eventually, if you stick with it long term, the results will be there. So this morning, you know, she just wakes up, she did her 10 minutes rebounding, she had her green juice, she drinks green smoothie every day, she eats raw burgers, and it's amazing. If you would tell me 10 years ago, I would never believe that she will be like that. I would not believe, seriously.
But she's 10 now, right?
She's 10 now, and she's willing to eat all raw food that I make.
Yeah. And so she's basically going from when she was 6 until now, like 4 years, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
But I must say that I see big difference because Dominica, my number 3, she's 7, and so she was baby when I went plant-based. And for her, it was so natural. You know, like somebody, I remember we went once to Slovakia and somebody gave her the regular ice cream. And she was like, I don't like this. This is too sweet for me. I don't like the taste. I don't want it.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, wow, that was like, it was really very, very surprising to me. I would think that every child would like it, but she is really different. Like, you know, when we have a party, like when she goes for a party somewhere else, and here in the Netherlands, people tend to always order these whipped cream cakes. She really dislikes it, slagroomtaart, you know? She really dislikes it so much. She's like, it makes me sick. So she won't eat it. And she just has more stronger preferences for a low fat and less dense food. Yeah, it's interesting.
I see that with Leon too.
Yeah.
Like he really wants like chickpeas and falafel. So I go to all this effort to make him falafel, okay?
Yeah.
And then we have some leftover for the next day, and he's like, "Oh, I don't like it, Mama. I don't want it." I'm like,
because he feels the effect of it.
Now what do I do with the rest of the falafel?
Yeah. Freezer.
Well, I give it to my dad.
That's a good option too, if you have somebody else at home. Yeah, so it's a journey, and I think that we as parents, we must realize that we also don't make big changes overnight, you know. We also didn't go raw just like from one day to another, and we're 100% raw. For me personally, it took 6 years, almost 6 years. Now I'm into 6 years, and I just finally start to feel like I'm getting it, you know? It
Yeah,
works
yeah.
the way it should. Like,
So it took you 6 years. Wow.
yes.
Wow.
But you know, the thing is also this: if I was alone, if I didn't do PhD, if I didn't have 4 kids, if I didn't have my sick mother, if I had nothing else on my plate than myself, you know, I would probably be much faster. But I had to focus on finishing my PhD, raising my babies, you know, taking care of my mom, all these things. And I couldn't just 100% focus on myself, or I could, let's say, but I did not. It took
Right.
me very long to realize that actually I could. Only I
Yeah.
now know that I can make myself a priority. So I think that was something that really made it last so long for
Yeah.
me to finally make that big changes and just feel like it works.
So
Yeah.
you knew already about going like raw food, people who eat like that way, you already knew about that, or was it more just the plant-based with cooked food, or did you already know
No,
about
for
raw?
me, you know, the thing was that I went plant-based 2015, and like within first weeks, I discovered raw.
Ah,
Because my friend Elsa, you know her,
yeah, yeah.
she was living in South Africa, and we were having contact, and she told me, you know, I'm working in this raw food restaurant, and it's just amazing, and I feel so good. And you know, so she really introduced me to this, and I just, you know, started to follow. She told me about Fully Raw Christina, so I started to follow Fully Raw Christina, and then the 80-10-10 book, and I read actually the Dutch author Zuzanna is her name, and she spent time at the Hippocrates Health Institute in the US, and I read her book. That was really the account of her 3-week experience there, and I thought it was so inspiring. Then I read the Paul Nissen book, like, you know, all these people who were, you know, starting the movement,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
when the
I
movement
know them
started
by
to
now.
grow
Yeah.
more online. Yes. So I just started to read, and the Dr. Morse, of course, and then later the medical medium became very popular. So I started to read all of this mucusless diet, of course, you know, that was the very basics. But the thing was that I was reading, trying, but I couldn't stick with it.
Right.
Like I would be always having cravings. I would
Oh,
be
so you
like,
were trying for 6 years.
I've been trying since 2015.
Oh yeah,
Like,
well
you know,
that's
and
not trying, that's just going raw, no? You
no,
did
but
it.
I always had those moments when I just had to break it because I couldn't keep it up.
Ah.
Yeah, so I went raw in 2015, like 100%. I kept it for a month, then I fell off. We were living in Switzerland, you know, the
Oh,
children were
I
small.
know that. Falling off in
Yeah.
Switzerland is super easy. It's like
Oh, the fruit was
unaffordable
very.
and unable to find like ripe fruits over there. You'll be stuck with a lot of vegetables and bananas.
But you know, it's funny because I really went raw there. So first time going raw was in Switzerland, 2015. It was winter, it was December. I remember like it was yesterday. And before that, I tried. Oh my gosh, you know, I don't know. Maybe I should have give a little bit of my background. I suffered a lot of health issues. So otherwise, I had no reason to search for, you know, different. So before raw, I tried a body ecology diet. I just
What?
it's called the body ecology diet, and it's basically it's by Donna Gates. It's a
Okay.
very nice thing because it all is based around the knowledge about the human microbiome. So you know she says that in order to be healthy, we have to have a strong microbiome. So I read her this thick book and, you know, try her approach. But her approach basically is the candida-free diet and excludes fruit.
Okay.
So it's basically gluten-free, like pseudo grains, so millet, buckwheat, you know, those kind of things, quinoa.
Okay.
And basically sugar-free.
You felt that it's healthier than a standard Dutch or
It
Slovak?
was healthier, but I felt miserable. I just felt so bad. I had zero energy. And so like this, I went to Switzerland. And I stayed there with my 3 kids, and I needed a lot of energy to take care of them. You know, one of them was only 1. She didn't sleep in the night yet. Other one was 4, and the other one was 2. So they were very small. And I was like, I need to do something. And I just kept on going back to 80-10-10. You know, 80-10-10, that's the way to do it. First we come to Switzerland, and I'm like, this is impossible. one salary was 7 euros.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
know.
how am I going to do this, you know? But then eventually, as we were living there longer, I found that there was this nice supermarket which was called Migros, and then they had beautiful mangoes and pineapples and papayas, and so I just made an effort to walk there every single day to get some fruit. And so I went basically fully fruit with salads in the evening, and the first time in my life, I felt like I'm a new person. You know, I was like, wow, like what is this? I didn't know I can feel this good. And before I
How
said,
long did it take you? How many weeks or?
it was immediate. It was like within one day, I felt like, wow,
Oh wow.
immediate. It was immediate for me. Like, you know, going from the body ecology with no energy, no sugar diet, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I asked because okay, I was already on non-sugar and almost raw, but for me it took 4 weeks, and then at the end of the 4 weeks, I was looking back like, wow, I'm a new person after
Yeah, for
four
me, the
weeks on.
interesting thing was it was instant. I suspect I was also under-eating on that body ecology because it was mostly, you know, the diet is not made for plant-based eaters, so I had to make adjustments. So I was basically left with low calories vegetables because she was promoting the starch-free vegetables and the pseudo grains mostly. It's just very low calorie diet.
Yeah, and we want
Unless
calories.
you are aware that you have to eat a lot, and I was not back then. And she promotes a lot of sea vegetables and, you know, things like that. So I tried, but I just did it wrong. I didn't know what I was doing exactly, so I had
Yeah,
zero energy.
yeah.
And that was the moment when I was also like, wow, I would like to have another baby. So actually Matilda was the result of me going and did 10, otherwise I would not have
Ah,
her,
that's
I think.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. But you know, then I got pregnant. So that was like few months after I got pregnant with her, and I was afraid to push it too far because there were so many people in the community saying, don't do it when you are pregnant, don't make the changes too quickly. So
Yeah,
I basically ate high raw the whole pregnancy, like smoothies, juices, salads, and then
yeah,
cooked dinner.
yeah, yeah. That
And I
sounds
felt
very
amazing. It was
familiar.
very good.
Yeah, you still have that pressure. That's why we make this video, right? To say to people, okay, don't go too fast, but absolutely go, because if you continue to put in junk, what you'll get is junk.
Yes.
It'll cost you energy, right?
Yes,
So
of course, of course.
yeah,
But so I said it took me really 6 years of trying different things because, of course, I'm scientist. I like to educate myself. I like, you know, to read. And as I started to educate myself more and more, I started to also find a lot of contradictory advice. And, you know, there is like so many people online talking about how to do it right. I was lost. I didn't know what was right anymore. So I tried a high carb diet. You know, I tried the raw till 4. I tried eat the little fruit, but eat a lot of vegetables. You know, I tried eating like raw, but then adding some beans because I was not satisfied. Somehow I always had these cravings. Like every
mm-hmm.
time I would go raw, I would be like thinking of food all day long. You
Of
know,
food.
like
Yeah, I
yeah.
hear that too. I hear that
Yeah.
from, especially from Eric over here, and I had a couple of clients also saying that. I never personally experienced that,
Mm.
but they're thinking about. I think they're under eating. But what was it? Or that? And in my in my case, I wasn't thinking about food, but when I'd smell fish, I'd go crazy. So in my case, I just
Oh,
had a lot of
interesting.
worms come out. But how did you find out what it was for you?
So for me personally, and I know it's different for everybody, but for me personally, I have the feeling I was focusing too much on doing it easy way. And easy for me was eating a lot of bananas. You know, like that's easy to get, it's cheap, it ripens always good, because back then I didn't know that there are actually possibilities to get better quality fruit here where I live. I didn't know that. So I was having a poor variety in my diet, I feel. And I
Okay.
was also not consistent with leafy green vegetables. Like I would eat them, but not as much as I do now. And I have the feeling that that really was the game changer for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be consistent with the leafy greens. I really feel that they help me to stay more balanced. And
Saying hi
hi,
to my cat.
Mishka.
Yeah.
So that really helped me to stay more balanced, and it makes it very easy for me to stay raw no matter where I go. It's like before it would be like we go camping, I can't stick with raw. We go to visit my family in Slovakia, you know, I can't stick with raw. But now I don't have cravings, so it's very easy to stick with raw. I mean, if you don't want anything else, it's easy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. I look at that and people go, oh, you want that? Actually, I would only do it to make you happy, but I know I will not. For me, the taste is okay, and you know, why would I do it to make the other person happy? And it was.
Now
For
it
me,
works.
it's not like that. For me, it's really would be a social pressure, but I never I went over in 2015 too until this last winter. I was totally uninterested in anything else but fruit. I mean, even sometimes I really want some greens and I make green juice, and then after my green cravings would be gone. Like if I can choose between any dish or the right mangoes we have, please give me the right mangoes.
Yeah, it's interesting that, you know, that because I observed that people in the movement, you know, everybody has a different preference. And some people eat like really tons of fruit or exclusively fruit. But for me, I suspect it was probably the poor variety.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
that you know, and another mistake that I made, I feel, is that I was so much hooked on this idea, don't undereat, carb up, you know, and then carb up, you know,
Carb
stay
up.
carb up. And I
Ah.
was like, you know, stay full of carbohydrates.
Oh, yeah.
And
Okay.
and I
But
was like,
fruit is
okay,
carbohydrate. You
sorry.
have to explain, huh?
Oh yeah, okay. So I believe that the only reason to keep me raw was to not undereat. But
Yeah.
you know, many people believe, I observe, that not to undereat is to eat XYZ amount of calories, let's say 2500. And so then people will just choose the most calorie dense food to achieve that number. So they will just go for dates and bananas.
Okay. Yeah.
But because they want to make sure that they are eating 2500. But thing is that I notice over the time that the low calorie fruit, for example watermelon or berries or pears or kiwis, they are lower in calories, but they are extremely nutrient dense. So when you are excluding them for the sake of getting enough calories, you still need enough calories, but what
Yeah.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to say, you need to get those calories from the right sources.
Yeah. I
You can't just
totally
live,
agree. I
you just
totally
can't
agree.
live on bananas, eat 2500 calories a day and expect that you are going to be
Yeah.
healthy and feeling
Yeah.
vibrant, because that's not the case. Simply, we
Yeah.
need variety of food in our diet, I believe.
Yeah.
That's what works for me. And so those lower calorie dense fruits really are good to keep them in big amounts, actually.
Well,
So you have to eat
grapes.
more of them, but
Yeah,
they really
grapes,
have the
berries.
benefits.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yes,
really feel
absolutely.
that. I see, of course, I see people and I can test them and see what they're lacking. And then I always like, I write their advice and then I'm like, I'm again advising them to eat more fruits with a lot of water and a lot of minerals. Because a
Yes.
lot of time we're just not getting them enough, or we're not absorbing them enough because the gut and the gut flora is so full of rubbish and it's so acidic that we need more in order to clean it and in order to absorb more. I see that especially, you know, people our age and above, like 30 and above, you can see that we're getting clogged up and
I'm
we need
sorry,
to...
I fell out. I fell
Oh,
out for a
okay.
second because I
Yeah,
have an
yeah, yeah.
Instagram
Okay,
a
maybe
time
it's my
limit. So it just
battery.
told me, it told me you spend 1 hour, bye bye. So
Oh,
I now
okay.
turn it off.
I think
Yeah, but
I
let's see
will
what
need...
people let's see what people are saying here.
Yeah, yeah. She said I will get the charger because I think I'm also super low. It keeps pausing me.
Yeah, so somebody is saying, I think it's important to have at least 5 main calorie staples, high calorie staples that you
You
enjoy,
can...
and that variety is important, including grease. Yes, absolutely, I agree. I think we need to have those staples because if we don't have those staples, we are going to go for bread or pasta. I mean, so the house has to be always, you know, full with good stuff, good food, and those are the staples. And bananas are my staples. Of course, I eat them every single day. it's not the only food that I eat. I think it's important to realize it, because many people promote do the 30 banana a day challenge, and I think that it works very wonderfully for certain time. But if you keep on doing this long term, it's you are going to develop some nutritional deficiencies, I believe, if you only eat bananas.
Yeah. Well, for me, I feel I am already lacking water if I eat one ice cream. So I'm always drinking water with or after my ice cream. It's crazy. 3 bananas and I feel completely dehydrated. But that's just because I got some healing to do too. Like, and sleep too. I need sleep too.
But Wendy, I think it's very interesting you mentioned about bananas, because you know, the longer I do it, the more I start to notice the same thing that you are saying. Like at the beginning, if you would scroll down through my Instagram, I was really smashing 10 banana smoothies with no problem. But I can't do it anymore. I can do it. I can put maximum 4 bananas in my smoothies, and then I feel like super full for 4 hours, I think.
Yeah, me too. I'm full, but not always satisfied, you know?
Exactly.
I'm
But
like,
so
berries with the bananas. Yeah, it feels better.
yes, the same for me. I see here Jenny. Hi Jenny, so nice that you are joining us. Jenny is my friend. I have been following her for some time. She has this amazing page. You should check her, guys. It's not raw, but it's amazing.
Okay,
it's called eatmoreplants.no. And so she's asking tips on high energy food.
No, it's on the light.
So I can only share, Jenny, my own experience, and I feel that I have the most energy when I eat fruits and greens. Like when I'm really, you know, making green smoothies, and such smoothie could have, like they sell in supermarkets, these frozen berries, and you can just put a bag of frozen berries, and then depending on what kind of berry it is, usually they are very low calories. You can put like 4 bananas with it, and some leafy green vegetables and some water. And I find that for me, those kind of smoothies are really like keeping me energized and going really good. I mean, since I started to do this, really focus more on greens, that's now, I think, 5 months now. I've been waking up at 4:30 every single day. It's just insane, seriously. I never imagined that I will be able to do something like this without coffee, without salt, without stimulants, without, you know, no external substances. So I really think that the greens and fruit, that's the high energy food, definitely. For me personally.
For me too. And I see some of my friends over here and our common friends also commenting on giving people extra advice on high energy foods. Hi. Well, I think my son Kian, right? He sometimes he really needs extra food. And he's really a banana monster. If I let him, he'll eat 5 bananas a day, every single day, and he doesn't get bored of them. So that's
interesting.
Super interesting. And when I bring out watermelon or blueberries or mango, he wants that too. But when you ask him without seeing it, it's always bananas.
It's so funny.
Yeah. And then when I say, okay, I'm going to eat mango, he goes, and then I take this one that's super ripe. He goes, I want banana. I want mango. Give me the mango. So I think also for kids, like mine is really, he can just, when you have a poor quality, they won't eat it.
Yes.
If you have a good quality, they'll steal your food. I go to school, I bring a box of good strawberries, just like the Dutch ones that are super fresh, just from the ground. And then all these kids with eating bread and you know, like even moms trying to add things with the bread, they come, I lose all my fruit. They're all like, last time too, I have my sister's wedding, like, oh, bring your own food, Wendy. I'm like, oh, okay. So I bring this, you know, gigantic amount, and all the parents come to take the fruit for, can we have for the kids? Can we have? I'm like, yes, but okay.
I also want to have something left.
Yeah, I
know the problem.
6 children here today.
Yes,
I'm hungry too.
I know. You know, I have this also. So actually, I would like to share that 2 weeks ago, I organized the first raw vegan kids party with non-vegan kids. And I was before very afraid to do something like this because I thought, oh, you know, the kids expect the candies, they expect the traditional stuff, you know.
You think?
But I think they do, because usually when we do the treats at school, and sometimes my kids would bring like a bliss balls or things like these raw cookies and stuff. Some kids just wouldn't even want to try. They would just say like, it looks strange, you know, and they wouldn't even try.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on where they are coming from, sometimes it can be challenging. Hey, Lux, my friend here. And so I just did this, and I got like this super good watermelon from my friend Jack. It's this, you know, this giant watermelon, like this big.
With
Like
black seeds.
this big, with the black seeds, big black seeds. And you would expect that the kids are not going to like the seeds, but everybody loved the watermelon. I got 2 boxes of strawberries. That was, I think, 10 packages altogether. So like, you know, really, really huge amount of strawberries. And they were just so happy. And I made a raw vegan brownie, and nobody asked for anything else.
But this raw vegan brownie I saw, that was
yes.
really, I think you can make anyone eat that.
Yes, you can make anyone happy. It always tastes great. It was, nobody asked like, where are we getting Snoopy's, you know, candies, where are we getting ice creams? No, everybody was just happy. So I was
actually,
like, wow.
Yeah, actually that's like almost the same that we did with Keon's last birthday. Like, he just had his birthday. I made the chocolate cake. I was like, I don't feel like we have the time. And you know, Keon is happy with anything. And I have had birthdays with Keon more, and now they're older. They haven't seen him for 3 years, but they're Dutch kids eating regular, and 2 of them were vegan, but they're, you know, vegan. It doesn't mean that eating healthy, right? So
no, vegan doesn't equal whole foods, and that's what many people also confuse. I think that many people believe they see this documentary, what the health, you know, or forks over knife, and they think like, when I eat plant-based, I will automatically be healthy. But you can eat a vegan junk food diet and be as sick as eating the standard diet. Yeah. So I think that's often that people somehow miss this link. Yeah. And actually it took me very many years too to realize this.
Yeah.
That it's not only about plant-based, but it's about whole food actually.
Yeah, whole food. Well, I was plant-based, but I eat, you know, animal products. But whole foods, everything whole foods. Yeah. Yes. But these kids didn't complain either at the birthday party. They also came, and I had, you know, snack tomatoes, cucumbers, paprika, like super standard. And then I just made date snowballs with dates and coconut, and one with speculaas and dates and coconut. And of course, they go crazy on them. But after a while, everybody thought they were too sweet.
Yes.
And we just had some fruits. And you think nobody was hungry? Nobody complained. And we had ice cream, like grape juice ice cream, like good one. Nothing weird in it, just grape juice. And we forgot the ice cream. They all went home, and then we were gone. We were like, oh no, we forgot to give them the ice cream.
So that was a very good thing. That was a very good thing.
Yeah, and the cake I made for Keon, I just didn't feel like until Erik said, yes, my ex made sometime chocolate cake with courgette only, and it was very low fat, because I was like, oh no, not cake with, you know, heavy cashews and all that. And I thought, well, let's give it a try. Without recipe, I said, what else was in it? She says, I don't know. I said, okay. So I got myself courgette. I took the cacao. I just make it all together, make a little thin bottom, make it together, and put it in a shape. Actually got a nice shape in the fridge. And oh my God, it was so delicious.
It sounds very interesting. Yes, I'm always looking for the low-fat cake options, because most of the recipes out there are always, very heavy on nuts or seeds. Yeah. So, so having something which is a little bit less calorie dense, that's always a good option. I was wondering if people who are just listening now, if they have some questions, maybe.
Yeah, that could be really good, huh?
So feel free to type something, guys, if you want to. Otherwise, we just keep on talking away, because we haven't spoken for a very long time.
Yeah, otherwise we keep talking and talking. Yeah, if you want to know this recipe about courgette chocolate cake, that you don't taste courgette, you really taste soft, fluffy, creamy cake.
Yeah, sounds very good. I would like to certainly have the recipe.
So yeah, and we have a lot of people looking, huh? Berthe, Hossein, Jan. Who's Juice Strength? I don't know. We have Merel. Yeah, eat more plants, detox your eyes. I need to do that. Detox my eyes. Michaela was here and Saskia. Don't know who else is here. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask any one of us, me or Zuzanna. I'm super happy to have Zuzanna here today. Actually, we were supposed to talk ice cream too, so we almost got to the ice cream.
Oh yes, of course, of course. Sure.
Yeah, because Zuzanna is coming to the Dutch Fruit Festival just for one day because she got to stay with the kids as well. And yeah, I made some really nice cream the other festival, and Zuzanna was there and she really did a great food workshop, and she got an awesome machine to make ice cream, and I got 2 different ones, so it sounded fun to me to have Zuzanna over to help us make nice cream for all the people coming. And you
yes,
can also,
so
by
we
the
were
way,
thinking
come.
then, yeah, and then we were thinking that then people actually can compare the different results, you know,
Exactly.
because when you prepare ice cream with a blender, or you prepare ice cream with food processor, or you prepare ice cream with a Unana's machine, all of them just taste different. You can even use a juicer if you have the vertical, no, horizontal, no, yes, vertical juicer. You can use that for making ice cream too.
Actually, both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah.
I know right now I have the twin gear Angel.
Yeah,
I never
I
tried.
know
Have you tried making ice cream with it?
I tried, but
it doesn't work, right?
Actually, I turned out I got the wrong cover, and
Okay.
then I got the cover for ice cream, but then with the cover for ice cream, you cannot make peanut butter, or yeah, they call it peanut butter, but nut butter in general.
Yeah.
So I went back to the store and changed it. So I cannot make ice cream with it anymore because I don't have the piece anymore.
Okay. Okay.
But I also didn't want to do it because it was not my preferred way to make ice cream.
Yeah,
it
also
doesn't
feel good to me also to use Angel for that for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, let's see what Michaela's asking. She says, hey girls, do you have tips for times when you eat emotionally? I've had these moments, and that's when I eat something processed. For the rest, I'm high raw. Well, that sounds very familiar for a lot of people, I think.
Absolutely.
It's the mostly asked question. Ah ja, ik zal make some tea.
So you want to start, Wendy?
Yeah, okay, so actually, since it's the mostly asked question, there are multiple answers to this question. So first of all, I want to let you know that emotional eating is like a really common and normal thing to happen with you and anybody, and people who are also not aware of any other kind of food. Because when you are emotional, your energy body and your stress levels are up there. And what you want to do is you want to ground and be in your body and get your mind off of this stress emotion stuff and back into your body where you're supposed to be, where you're safe and calm. Eating that way, or anyway, eating in general, it brings the energy to the digestive system, at least for a moment. So you want to eat to bring the energy there and calm down, but it doesn't take it really doesn't continue to feel satisfying that long. So you eat more, and you continue to do that. So it is a mechanism that's building to bring the energy down and calm down. So you're normal. But in the long term, it really doesn't work. And I would suggest you focus on tools and your intention, like your intention on what eating, and there are a lot of tools to overcome these emotions, because the emotions are there to tell you something. They are really important, and they're there to tell you about what went wrong in your life, or a subconscious belief that is limiting your life, or basically they're really there for a reason, even though it looks like they're there to obstruct you. So short answer I don't have. I can talk about hours about that and give you multiple tools. But Michael is coming to the festival. That's really good, because there we will share at least 2 tools. I will share two tools, what you can do in breathing and how to focus on yourself to get over this emotional eating at that time. So
I would like to add that I noticed for myself that, of course, I also have experience with this emotional eating, and I noticed for myself that it's actually quite simple. I mean, it sounds simple, but it does take some practice to develop. But I have found that every action has reaction. So when I find myself craving foods, it means that I did something that was preceding that experience. You know, I did something which created these cravings. It's not that they happen just, you know, they don't happen just out of blue. It's always a result of what I do. So, and some reasons for me personally is I tend to keep myself very busy. I'm generally a very ambitious person, you know. I like to learn a lot, I like to do a lot, I like to create a lot, I like to take care of my family. So I have this tendency to put myself last. And if I do it 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, not a big deal. But if I keep on going a little bit longer, then I start to feel like, you know, like I deserve something. And if you are just starting with eating healthy, the very easy reward for yourself is to reward yourself with the forbidden food, because you think like, I work so hard, I deserve it, you know. I really deserve this, because the processed food it has enormous impact on the dopamine release. So it's very easy to, if you feel like you need to reward yourself, you know, you can very easily do it with food, or you do it with a smartphone. You know, you keep on scrolling on social media, things like that. But all of this is just the short-term dopamine release, and then you want more,
and you feel guilty. That it happens on raw.
Sorry?
That would be really interesting, because I see it happening with myself and with others, even when staying raw. Have you also experienced that?
So the interesting thing with raw, and that's my current personal challenge, is that raw food gives me like boundless amount of energy, but I notice I need to really learn to manage that energy, because I really tend to, you know, spend too much energy and take little time for rest. That's my problem on raw. Because when I'm not raw and I'm just on coffee and, you know, the regular food, I'm like, oh, I'm so tired, I can't do it, you know, it's too much. But when I'm raw, I can do it. But the problem is that the fact that I can doesn't mean I should, because there must be some self-regulation in place. Like, I can't go forever like a computer, you know. Even computer will crash at one point if you keep on overloading it. Nothing can go forever without having a proper boundary set. So I think that's a big deal for emotional eating. Have your boundaries and don't go over them. And the other part of emotional eating is really know what you are eating, because as I mentioned before, if you are eating food which doesn't provide all the nutrition that you need, of course you are going to have cravings, and you are also going to feel very emotional, because when your body is deprived of nutrients, it's also going to impact your emotional well-being. So I think it's all connected, you know. It's like it goes a bit both ways. It's not only what you do, but it's also what you eat. But it's not only what you eat, it's also what you do. It's really it's both ways. You can't exclude those two. They are always going together in my experience.
Let's see what people say about that. So Michaela says that she looks very similar to you. Well, I feel very similar to you too, Zuzanna. So I guess we look a lot alike. And Korsha says it's very similar for mothers. Yeah, that's for me. I have the most problem when there is stress with Kian. It's stressed with me. But actually, my question was about that you still have it on raw, and I notice it's more subtle because I've been raw for so long. I don't really remember eating cooked food anymore on a regular basis. That once I hit the cacao and make chocolate things, which was last year in around before summer, that I had like that thinking, not I deserve something, but oh, why not? It tastes good, you know? And then I got all stressed and immediately I was thinking chocolate cake, chocolate cookies, you know, things with chocolate. I'm like, wait, I am being dependent on cacao here. I don't want that. So I quickly like, no eating, because if I think today, I want tomorrow and I want the day after. And that's for me a thing that really works, is that not that thing that you don't want to be dependent and thinking about this specific type of food, and staying high, you know, high fruit, raw, with good salad and good nutrient based greens in the afternoon, is for me to have calm in my body and not have this emotion. And when emotions do come, either I didn't eat on time, or didn't eat at all, or
that's another big part of the problem, definitely.
Or well, like now I didn't sleep really, like 3 hours. That also makes me eat, but it will not give you energy. You need sleep.
Yes, exactly. You can't just substitute, and it's like coffee. I mean, coffee also doesn't give you energy, it's just fake. So also when you sleep and you try to cover up for it with food, that's just not going to have a long-term success, definitely not.
No, exactly. So I see Michaela saying that she didn't have that when she was 3 weeks raw, 100%. Go, Michaela! And she broke by bread when you got stressed. Yeah, and bread's very special. Huh? It's very, it makes these sugar spikes, and
I have the, you know, it's interesting. I find that a lot of people who are struggling with bread are eating very high fruit diet, and it could also be, you know, bread is generally very salty. We don't tend to realize it, but it's a very over salted food. And I think that this could also be often that when people are focusing on too high fruit and eating too little sodium, that the bread might be that attractive option for them, because they are actually, you know, going for the sodium. So I find that that I personally need to consume celery every single day and sea vegetables for not having the salt cravings. If I don't eat celery and don't eat dulse flakes, or, you know, nori wraps, or just some kind of sea vegetables, a little amount, not much, just a little bit, then I also feel like, you know, I would feel like the coconut aminos, I would feel like, you know, tamari sauce, like I would like to add it to my dressing, but as long as I stick with celery and dulse, no problem. And I would like to actually say that for me personally, eating coconut aminos is similar to chocolate for you, because once I start to include it in my dressings, I just want it, you know, and I just want to have it every single day. And then I wake up the next day and I don't feel as good. Yeah, I feel like very dehydrated and like a bit sluggish, lethargic. I don't know. It's just my personal experience. Not everybody feels this way. And especially when you are just transitioning, it's a great way to, you know, if you eat everything whole foods and there is a little bit of coconut aminos, it's not a big deal. But I feel that for me, after 6 years, I feel like I do better without it.
Yeah. I only had it once. It was so salty. It was not for me.
Yes.
It was like, this is basically salt water. That's not for me.
Yes. But I do notice that, you know, when I didn't know about the importance of natural sodium, I would just not include it in my diet. I mean, you know, I find that if I only eat leafy greens, vegetables like spinach and lettuces and things like that, of course there is sodium, but I find personally, for my own experience, that I needed celery. It really does very good to me. And so when I was not doing it, I would always end up craving something salty. Like I would be making, you know, something for the kids and Peter, and not necessarily I would be like, you know, liking those ingredients, but its salty taste would be like, I would be crazy about it. Just, I want to have that salt. Now, not interesting anymore for me.
Oh, good. So that would be really helpful for people with cravings as well.
Yeah, so I think that usually when we have cravings, we really should not push them away. I think that the body is always trying to communicate with us. We just need to know how to, you know, how to address those cravings. Because it's not right to just look away and eat more bananas.
No, and I always ask everyone, like, what is your specific craving and at what time do you have it? As for the Chinese medicine, it very clearly points out a certain time to a certain organ, which relates to a certain meridian, which relates to a certain emotional theme. And then when I address the emotional theme on that time, usually they go, yeah, it always happens like that. And it really shows, okay, you got something with this theme, you know, either it's self-worth or, you know, self-blaming or anything like that. That's what the body is trying to tell you. And sometimes it's also physical, like for example, you say you want a lot of, you want the sodium every day and it's good for you, the celery. And for me it's totally not like that. If I eat celery, I feel like I eat too much salt. So our sodium is natrium, right? And potassium is kalium. So they both supposed to be in balance in and out the cell. And what you usually see with people who are going just raw, they're out of balance there. And then they go raw for some time, or they try intermittent fasting while going raw, or do a water day fast while they never had it and going raw. The body's dumping all the toxins, and this potassium sodium balance is just completely different than it was last week, and you don't know how to handle it, and then the cravings come, you eat and you fail to say. So yes. I always think that educate yourself and know about that, not this specific mechanism in detail, but know about that these mechanisms exist in our body, can really support you to see, oh, okay, so it's some sort of mechanism in my body and it's normal. Okay, so I can do that. I have to go slower on my detox. I have to transition. I'll eat more salads and don't go fast on the water fast all of a sudden, and you know, like deprive myself of calories and nutrients and dump all the toxins in the lymphatic system without cleaning you know, the drain. So that could be also something very informative for people to know, so that they feel better supported and can stay on raw. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I also noticed we talked about bananas before, and now Mishka is now saying that she feels good when she includes celery. And so over the time, I also discovered that I actually like to have bananas with something salty. I remember when I was watching Doug Graham's videos in the past, he would be having like, you know, 10 bananas or 15 bananas for lunch, and he would be having like a head of romaine lettuce with it. And back then I was thinking like, how can this be nice? And now I totally understand, because I really prefer to eat bananas when I do eat them alone that way.
Yeah.
Because I think that provides the perfect balance between the sodium and potassium that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Or blend them with celery. That's cool too.
Also.
Yeah.
That tastes to me like a latte, like cafe latte. Celery and bananas and a little bit of cinnamon. It's really amazing, guys. Try it. It tastes like cafe latte to me. Totally.
Yeah, or a lot of cinnamon.
Not a lot of cinnamon, just a little bit, like when you make cappuccino, it somehow becomes this foamy when you blend bananas with celery, just with a little bit of water, and then you just, you know, sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on it. It's just so nice. It's a nice snack.
Yeah, yeah. So I remember that you had time until 10. We're 10:15
yes.
now. How are you on your time schedule?
I'm still all right, but I just was wondering if people still have questions.
Okay, no, perfect. I'm just letting you know. Don't want to keep you there when you have appointments.
But I also had the feeling that we covered most of the topics that we wanted to discuss, right? We talked about ice cream, we talked about children, we talked about cravings. We actually talked even more than we expected, so that's very nice.
we can have 20 more topics. So continue, I think so.
Very good, Elsa. Enjoy your lunch. It sounds great. Bananas and celery and cinnamon. Yes.
Okay, then I'll just go for an ice cream. Okay, I got a bunch of little blueberries, you know, the currants. So I'm looking forward to that. They made a sorbet here. They said, yeah, we made a sorbet. I'm like, okay, I want to try it. Okay.
That's very nice.
Thank you, Jolly Dolly Dutch. Yeah, I think we covered most of the topics. So everybody, watching. Thank you also very much. If you have any questions now or later, feel free to post them below the video. We'll upload it automatically to IGTV, so we'll be able to come back to you. If you find all these topics super interesting and you want to meet us and other people on a raw food journey, please join us for the Dutch Fruit Festival. It's in less than 2 weeks.
Yes.
And yeah, you can come for 1 day or you can come the whole week. If you want to sleep at the venue, please contact me, because you might want to buy more tickets for your family than we have places to sleep left, because we only have 2 places left. But if you're going to come camping at the neighbors, it's super awesome, or sleep at home and just join us for a day, you are more than welcome. Thursday, Zuzanna will be there making ice cream. So if you want to be there with Zuzanna, that'll be super cool. If you have kids and you want to bring them, other kids are coming on Wednesday because the school's off on Wednesday. So that would be a really good day for you. And if you're really new to all of that and you don't want to miss the beginning, then Tuesday would be best.
Okay.
So Zuzanna, thank you very much for doing this interview with me.
Thank
Do you
you
have
for
some
inviting me.
last words where people can find you, or?
Yeah, so basically I'm sharing daily on my Instagram that you can see here, Zuzu's Raw Journey. And that's it. I find that, you know, this costs me enough time next to my family to manage. So this is where you can find me, Zuzu's Raw Journey on Instagram.
Awesome. All right. Bye, Michaela, and bye, Elsa, and bye, everybody we might have missed. We see you in 2 weeks.
Yes. Thank you for being with us, guys. Bye-bye.
Have a great day. Bye-bye. Thank you,
Bye.
Zuzanna.
Bye-bye.